Desde Argentina hasta Inglaterra, Enzo Fernandez. I know it's stuck in your head. It's stuck in my head. What an announcement video from Chelsea Football Club for Enzo Fernandez. That's right. Don't think about losing to Fulham. Think about being gassed about the super team of tomorrow. Nothing like a good, cold, slapping dopamine hit from a piece of music like that and a transfer to make you forget about the football. So welcome back, friend, to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan, in the press conference room today. You don't want to watch Graham Potter's press conference and listen to his opinion on the team and transfers, although I like Graham Potter, but I'm just more important. So, today, in this video, we're going to talk about how new superstar signing, an Argentinian World Cup winner / midfield prodigy, Enzo Fernandez, how he's going to fit in the Chelsea team, where he's going to play, what formation are we going to play to accommodate him? Is he just plug and play, bang, 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 you're better, or do you build around him to get the best out of him? Or can you do both? Why not both? We're going to talk about that today, so thank you for joining me, thank you for liking the video and subscribing. As you can see, the little graphic down there on my press conference table. So click of a button, why wouldn't you do it, ladies and gentlemen? So, we can get the microphones up. Are we going to get the microphones up? No, that's not the microphones. Okay, there's technical difficulties here in the studio. Microphones! Oh, hello guys, welcome. Statement for today before we get started is Chelsea are going to win the Champions League with all their new attackers and scintillating midfield. That's all I've got to say. Thank you. Right, first of all, how do we play him? Well, I'd suggest we do not play him in goal, and we don't play him as a striker, centre-back, or full-back. He'd probably be quite a good full-back, actually, because he can defend, and he can pass very well, and he's athletic. But no, in the midfield. But what formation do we play to accommodate him? Well, we know about Enzo is he can play pretty much anywhere in the middle three positions. Now, you wouldn't really play him as a number 10, because although he's really good at short passing, his short passing metrics are off the chain, so he can play in tight spaces, which would kind of make him conducive to being an attacking midfielder. You could argue he is a bit of an attacking midfielder purely because he gets the ball forward a lot. And that's attacking. Forward is attacking, right? But despite his capacity to join the during the attack and sort of playing that in the hole, as they used to call it, you wouldn't sort of start him as number 10. So you're going to start him as a central midfielder. So a number 6 or a number 8. Now, a number 6 is in a lone defensive midfielder, a lone pivot, flanked potentially by a couple of number 8s. Or do you want to play him in a double pivot, so a double 6, the old Tommy Tuchel, but perhaps not a 3-4-3, perhaps more of a 4-2-3-1, which, by the way, we've been playing of late. Or do you play him as a number 8? Which actually, I could very much see that. You could see him, playing long passes, but also sort of getting up tight and trying to combine with the forwards. It's very, very interesting because I've heard people say conflicting things about Enzo Fernandez, and I think that's largely because he's such a talented and versatile player. Of course, in the World Cup, I've got a blocked nose, which was where he caught the most recent amount of attention. He was dropped into CDM by the Argentine manager, and he stayed there, and he was hugely influential, and he muscled himself into that Argentina starting lineup in the central defensive midfield by himself. Now, at Benfica, he can play a bit further up. He can play like a number 8. I think he'll be versatile for Chelsea. I think his job will be the same. Harry, he can tackle, he can intercept, defend, but ultimately, we're bringing this guy here for creativity in the middle of the park to get our attack moving forwards. There's been further reports today that suggest the new ownership, Todd Boehly and everyone they saw Chelsea's midfield as an issue in terms of creating attacks. Thomas Tuchel did not see that. He wanted more defenders. He was happy with his midfield options. I really apologise about my blocked notes. If I mute the mic, I can do this. You missed something disgusting. So yeah, Thomas Tuchel liked his double 6 profiles. his Kante Kovacic's kind of thing, you know, and all great players, by the way. Jorginho, yeah, great footballer. We wish him well-ish at Arsenal. But yeah, so it was Chelsea's new ownership model that came in and went, right, we want a creative midfielder, someone that could play forward, someone that could help out this attack. I was on the byline, and I was speaking about Enzo Fernandez, speaking about how we haven't had a forward passing player since Cesc Fabregas. I was chatting to a South American football expert, Felipe, and although Cesc Fabregas is closer to a number 10, he'll play closer up. It's a similar thing with Enzo Fernandez. He's going to put his foot on the ball and get his head up and put, you know, he plays risky passes, but they're still relatively calculated. He's not like an absolute maniac in terms of giving the ball away, and that's really important in the Premier League because you give the ball away one sniff, you show one, you know, morsel of vulnerability and indecision, and the opposition will swarm you like sharks or piranhas and rip you apart piece to piece, and then you concede 3 goals to Bournemouth. And you ask, why do I even bother, mate? That's what can happen in football. So fortunately, he seems calculated enough to not play ridiculous passes, but his remit is play forward. You know, who can I get the ball to? How can we start an attack? And if you think about, now we've got players that will want to receive the ball to feet as well as running into space. It's perfect. You know, João Felix will play in the number 10 for me, or a false 9. He'll want to receive the ball in tight spaces, and he will play through to, like, you know, runners, whether that's like, you know, it could be Mykhailo Mudryk on the left wing running into space. So like I tweeted this out the other day, you know, like Thiago Silva, you know, is unfazed by the opposition press, just plays a beautiful through ball to Enzo Fernandez, who gets his head up and plays a wonderful immediate creative pass that lands in the feet of João Felix, receiving the ball in a tight space between the lines, but his technical brilliance allows himself to dance his way out of that the defensive press of the opposition, play the ball to a running Mudryk who's in space, who lashes home. Chelsea beat Man City 8-0. That's how this is going to go. But in terms of position, it is versatile. So, for example, if we play a 4-2-3-1, like we have seen of sometimes under Graham Potter, Enzo Fernandez would be in the double pivot behind the number 10, who I guess would be João Felix. I mean, it might be Mason Mount, but, you know, I think we all prefer Mason Mount as more of a number 8 than a number 10, but it could be. It could even be Kai Havertz, you know. It could be any one of those three, and I suppose Kai Havertz or João Felix could play as a striker in front of a number 10. We've got options. Hell, you know, David Datro Fofana's still knocking about. You know, he who should not be named, Aubameyang. He's a striker, and he exists in the Chelsea squad. But anyway, so there could be a double pivot and a number 10. So whoever that number 10 is, João Felix, Havertz, Mount, whatever, Gallagher, Chukwuemeka, like it could be. Who can well, suddenly we've got options. So you go, right, you know, record signing, super talent, World Cup winner Enzo Fernandez starts. Yeah, I think he starts, right? So next to him, off the bat, in terms of hopefully returning soon and being fit, you could put Denis Zakaria, offering him a little bit more legs. Like he did next to Jorginho in a double pivot. He kind of worked. He could offer that sort of mobility and just essentially the distraction so Enzo can actually get his head up and make those aforementioned creative forward passes. And I think a lot of people, if we saw a double pivot look, no disrespect to Zakaria, he's been good and we've all been very happy, but we've also been in the trenches. So someone who put in a half-capable CDM performance, we're suddenly like, oh my God, he is, you know, Kante, Makelele, the next down the line. Do you know what I mean? Which just probably isn't the case. So suddenly when you stick Enzo Fernandez next to him, he starts to look a little bit more like Denis Zakaria. No disrespect. He could be excellent, carrying on playing really well and offer balance, and actually prove to be a really astute signing for Chelsea should we buy him on a permanent for like 26 million, which is wild if that's the truth. I think we've got a buy clause option for that really, really low. And, or in a double pivot, you could look at the World Cup winning duo. But by the way, Chelsea have 2 World Cup winning midfielders that were both heavily influential in their World Cup wins. That is, of course, Enzo Fernandez and N'Golo Kante. Imagine that. Imagine a fit N'Golo Kante returning to the Chelsea side, being like in good form and good fitness and not looking like he's going to like be out, just, you know, snap his hammy and be out for another 9 months. If he looks like, yeah, Kante's back, even it doesn't have to be like 2016-17 Kante. It doesn't even have to be that Kante run to the the Champions League win, which he was probably playing for injury anyway. It needs to be just if it's a serviceable N'Golo Kante, that double pivot of Kante, Enzo, and then Felix in front. Suddenly, we're playing Football Manager, ladies and gentlemen. We're playing FIFA Career Mode. 2 years ago, you'd be like, what? Very, very good. You could also put in a double pivot. I was a Kante, Zakaria, but you could put him next to Mateo Kovacic. They could offer those legs. Though, interestingly enough, it does look like Kovacic could become available on the market in the summer with some homegrown talents like, Conor Gallagher, Hudson-Odoi, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Even Armando Broja, who signed a new long-term deal that would ultimately protect his value. Chelsea will see selling homegrown assets as a really good way of getting back in favour of financial fair play. I get that. You all have your own opinions on those homegrown players. Should they go or should they stay? But many people, Kovacic won Player of the Year not too long ago. Mount won it 2 years in a row. But Kovacic won it before, and he's generally been like, he's been like the hipster's choice. Like opposition fans look at Chelsea and they go, "Oh, you've got Kovacic. He's mustard, mate. Oh, he's a proper underrated baller." Yeah, great footballer. He is. So he would need to be renewed. I think he's 28 years old. I'd be disappointed if we sold him, but if we truly do have a new vision to rebuild the midfield in this new way that actually sees us winning games at a higher level, and this super team of, football directors and recruitment staff that we now have say that, yeah, we can see Kovacic is good, but he probably isn't conducive to our plan, then I defer to your plan. I love Kovacic. I think he's great, but I'm ready for I'm all in, Bowley. I've seen you spend 600 million and you've wooed me. I feel like a dame on a date. You can take away all my assets, or that's the case. I don't know where this analogy is going, but hopefully you understand that I'm in. I'm on board. Take me there, Even as long as you don't sell like a couple of people, I'm ready for the plan. I'm ready for refreshment. Like I said, we've been in the trenches for so long. Take me there. So Enzo Fernandez in a double pivot with a multitude of players. It could be the aforementioned potentially sold Mateo Kovacic, but Zakaria and, Kante, even like Chukwuemeka, who's played a little bit further forward, but, he's a central midfielder. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who could also be on the, in the up for sale, could be there. Of course, I think really he's sort of the replacement / upgrade, and I don't think that's upsetting any Jorginho fans in terms of, the absolute superstar quality of Enzo Fernandez. He will play that Jorginho role on the left-hand side. Heck, he's taken his number 5. So yeah, double pivot. He can play as a lone pivot, flanked by number 8s, where you could obviously put Mason Mount, Chukwuemeka. You could play Kante or Kovacic as number 8s. They have before, though it's not very attacking. So if you did play we used to play Kai Havertz as a number 8 under Frank Lampard, and for a while it worked really, really well. So really, for me, it's a lone pivot, a double pivot, or you could play him as a number 8, but I just don't see that happening. Honestly, I see Chelsea looking to play 2 6s and 4 attackers. That's what I see. So I do see, like, if you said to me now, a full fit 11, who are you going to play? I mean, who knows? This is going to sound wild. Are you ready for this? Past next summer, we've got Nkunku and we've got Malo Gusto. If Malo Gusto looks like just such a good right back and we have to get him in the team somehow, maybe you play Reece James in the midfield next to Enzo Fernandez. Reece James has played a lot in central midfield. He knows how to do it. Imagine a central pivot of Enzo Fernandez and Reece James, and suddenly both of them are just like bodying people and doing long passes and crosses, and that would be absolutely incredible. Still, I wanted to make this video and I wanted to put out to you guys, how do you see Chelsea using Enzo Fernandez? Comment down below. I'll be very interested in hearing your thoughts, feelings and opinions on that. Thank you for liking the video and subscribing. It means a lot. Enzo Fernandez, I can't remember the lyrics. Thank you for joining me. See you soon. Peace.